This video will cover how to install an Intel box processor and thermal solution in an LGA1150 socket. First, let's look at what comes in an Intel box processor package. Box processors typically contain the processor, thermal solution, and product manual. And every Intel box processor is backed by Intel's 3-year limited warranty and technical support. Now, let's talk about some of the things to be aware of before the actual installation process. Prior to installation, it is a good idea to capture the processor markings in case you ever need to contact Intel customer support. Looking at the i5-4570S processor topside, here are the lines that are important to capture: the Intel processor number, the processor SPEC number and CPU speed, the finished process order, the partial assembly test process order. It is also a good idea to record the Intel part number and manufacturer line of the thermal solution. Once the processor is removed from the protective clamshell, don't touch the bottom side contacts or components. Grip the processor by the edges. Leave the protective cap that covers the board socket until the processor is installed. If you do remove the cap, be very careful never to touch the socket pins, as this could damage the board. Before installing the thermal solution, make sure all 4 fasteners are in the correct position. They should be in the full clockwise position. And when handling the thermal solution, be careful not to disturb the pre-applied thermal interface material on the other side. Now, it's time to prepare the desktop board for the processor installation. The first step is to grab the retention handle and push it down, and move it out to release the cover, and move the handle back until the top plate is fully open. Now, let's install the processor in the socket. Open the clamshell the processor came in and grab the processor by the edges and lift the processor out. Locate the pin 1 indicator on the board and match it with the pin 1 indicator on the processor, along with the keying features or notches. Once you line these up, gently lower the processor in a vertical motion into the socket. Take care not to insert the processor at an angle, since this may damage the socket pins. Once the processor is properly seated flush to the socket, close the top plate, making sure it goes under the post. Then, latch the locking lever to complete the processor installation. The protective cap should disengage once this action is done. If it doesn't, gently remove it. Now the board is ready for the thermal solution to be installed. Position the thermal solution so that the fasteners align with the board openings, making sure that the fan cable will reach the connector on the board. Installing the fasteners in a crisscross pattern is recommended. Push down on the first fastener until it locks into place. Then, do the same for the opposite fastener until all 4 fasteners are locked in place. Then, attach the power cable from the thermal solution to the connector on the motherboard. This completes the installation. It is a good idea to keep the processor clamshell and board socket protective cap in the event you ever need to transport either item. Thank you for watching this video. For more information, log on to www.intel.com/support.